Alrighty guys, so let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. Now, just a heads up, there's going to be lots of timestamps depending on what step that you're at or what you're looking for, because it's kind of a three-part video. I'll show you guys how to install the client. I will also show you guys a brief little tutorial as well as an explanation for a beginner's guide, because even if you get it installed, a lot of people will ask me questions and this is kind of the video for you guys. But a lot of you guys also wanted me to show off a install tutorial on how to get it. And then we're also going to go over, as a third part, the English translation patch, which a lot of you guys were wanting as well. But I gotta give a huge shout out to Prixum, as I followed his guide, and I will also be linking his channel because I followed his guide, and I'm gonna basically use it as kind of a reference here for the actual connection here for being able to translate it as well. So starting right off, what you're going to actually need to get is an application called Floor. It's similar to like Steam or any other application. If you've used like the Epic Games launcher, that's basically what this is. So you need to get this. All the links will be in the pinned comment as well. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna visit the website. You're gonna go on the top right. If it's not in English, change it to English or whatever language you want to change it to. Then next up, you're gonna have to create an account. So create an account, go ahead and agree to the terms of service, whatever the case may be. That's fine. You just check all the boxes, scroll down, you know, it's normal stuff. Now, when you register for your email, you're gonna see this thing that says send verification email. So right over here is where you will be able to actually hit this button. Now, you're still gonna be on this page and it's going to actually ask you to verify. You're gonna get a code, you put it in, and then you continue. Now, the next step is very important. This is where a lot of people got confused over here. And what you wanna do after you register your email is then go back to the Floor website. Now, over in the top right, this will be where your username is. So step one would be to hover over where your username is. The second step is to mouse over where it says My Page and click on My Page. When you go to My Page, you're gonna scroll down until you see something that says Block Overseas Login Setting. You need to make sure that this is set to off. It's going to be defaulted to on, and you need to actually set that to off. When you go ahead and do that, it's gonna ask for a second verification. So go back to your email, copy and paste the code, and then it's going to change that block login settings. This is where a lot of people kind of got confused. I mean, I was even linking another tutorial and still people were confused. But this is the most important part of the step of the account creation process. Now that your account does not have this block login settings, now you're going to be more so good to go. But we're still not done. Now that we've made an account for this, we have to get the actual application and actually download it. So while this is downloading, it shouldn't take very long, by the way. While this is downloading, the next step is actually to use a VPN. So download this, but you can install it. However, you want a VPN when you log in. So use whatever VPN that you want to. There's tons and tons of different VPNs. If you guys are wondering, some of the better VPNs, they definitely won't be free, and I would be kind of cautious on getting any free VPNs. The one that most people are using is AVG. That's the one that Prixum was using too, and I think it's very easy. You do get a free trial with it. There's tons of VPNs. Most of you guys may already have a VPN, but the only important thing with a VPN is you need to be able to connect to South Korea. So make sure you guys are connected to South Korea. Then install Floor, install to whatever hard drive or whatever you want, but make sure you are logged in to your VPN. Then make sure that you are in Korea, and then once you install Floor, log in with the same account that you made. Then you'll be greeted with this screen once you open up the application called Floor, and it's going to go ahead and have some games. Now, just as a heads up, you will always see Royal Crown. This one's like some global release game, but Undecember is South Korea only. So if you do not see this game, what happened is your VPN is not active. So make sure that you close the program and then make sure your VPN is active and then re-log into Floor. The only time you need your VPN active is when you actually log into Floor. You can actually close your VPN as soon as you're logged in and you see Undecember. You can start installing Undecember, and then, so mine already has play, but of course yours will have install. Install it to wherever you want, but keep that as a reference, as it will be very important for you later when you want to install the English patch, which is technically optional, but just make a little note of where you actually installed the game. But all you have to do pretty much from here is actually hit play. So that's the installation process. A bunch of questions that I had gotten asked while live streaming, as well as some tips to really help you guys that are beginners get started. One thing I do want to mention is make sure you guys either download the translation pack, or what you can do, what I've been doing a lot of times, because even with the in-game English patch, a lot of things aren't translated. So what I'm using is actually my phone. I'm taking screenshots or just basically using it as a translator on my phone. You can just download Google Translate on the App Store, or you can use it on the computer as well by screenshotting, but it's much easier probably to use your phone in most circumstances. However, I know there's a lot of things that I do want to go over that you guys might want to know about. So the settings in here, like, you can download the English patch, but it's technically optional. You can go for the third one if you wanted to log out. I guess this is kind of something important. And the first one is actually going to be what you guys want more than likely, is the settings. So under here we have all of the settings for different display options if you want to know what each one is. If you guys don't want to download the patch, again, just use your phone. You can check things in and out. Over here we have different graphical settings as well as like FPS. That's what this is. This is obviously resolution. There's a few things that you'll have to play around with, but some of these can be easily changed, obviously, with the patch. But there's other things I do want to go over that are quite important. So one thing that I kept on getting asked as far as like my skills, I don't get how some of my skills work. I can't use them. So certain skills require a certain weapon type. So make sure that you're using the correct weapon type. And if you don't have the correct weapon type, it'll show up with some change. That's like one thing that I got asked a few different times. Another thing is, how do I equip skills? So just because you throw a skill over here doesn't mean that you have it actually equipped. You actually have to not only put it inside of your skill, like a hexagon plate here, but you have to click on the top left, and then you have to either click over here and put it in, or you can click here and then you can put it in like that as well. You can right click to remove them faster. Now these two skill bars, how do you access them? Some people were like, I changed my skill bar and I don't know how to change it back. You just hit left control and you'll have a separate skill bar, and you can swap these on the fly. It's quite easy, so it's almost like having a second skill bar. Another thing that I kept on getting asked as far as the potions, how do you have your potions activating at a certain time? I want to turn this off, whatever the case may be. So over here, you can select your potions, and if you want to equip them, obviously you can just right click over here and it's going to automatically equip them. Another thing is this thing on the very bottom middle here on the left side. You click on this and this is going to be your threshold. This is an HP potion. The first one is use potion at 60% HP is what I have it set to. You can actually have your health potion activate whenever your mana hits. So these are the two only ones that really matter. This is HP and this is for your mana, and make sure this box is ticked. So when I'm at 80% mana, it's going to pop a potion. When I'm at 60% HP, that's what this is popping. You can change all these numerical values if you want to. That's how you actually interact with that mechanic. Another thing that I kept on getting asked is, I'm using my scroll of identity on things that have mods, but it's not identifying. Let me show you guys a brief little example of this. So let's say I go get an item and I want to craft on it, right? So these squares are what is actually in your inventory that is equipped. Now, if I go buy a weapon, which I'm going to go do right now, let's say I want to buy I'm just going to go grab like a bow over here, right? Let's say I grab this bow, so I'll purchase this bow, and I want to actually use this bow and upgrade it. So I would go over here and I would throw it into the upgrade area, and I'm just going to say, let's say use this on it. It's going to roll random things on it. Now this item over here, you'll see that it has a question mark. This is the thing that I kept on getting asked, because I know a lot of you guys came from like Diablo or whatever the case may be for whatever game. You don't use your scroll of identity on this. What this means is there is a possible other modifier on this item. You can throw it in here by just right clicking. This keeps on rolling the amount of potential that the item has. So like right now we have, let's say these have 5 modifiers on this bow, right? There's 5 different, like if you want to call it a prefix or suffix, they've got modifiers on this bow. This rolls how many it will have. Obviously the higher rarity you go, the more that you can have. The other one over here reveals it. So let me go ahead and actually move my face out of the way. So you see how we have one unidentified like roll on it. This is what will give me the actual secondary one over here. Now, if there is an empty slot, I can actually use this and it will guarantee unveil one of these extra like modifiers. What are these modifiers? I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to use the translator, or I'd just use my phone. But this is how you actually identify items, if that makes sense. There are items that do come unidentified that you can get, but these are all different forms of currency that you will have to use depending on the rarity of your items. Another thing is that on the Zodiac, how do you get these other points? As you start progressing more and more in the game, these will start to open up. So in the very beginning, you'll just get 5 stat points, and this is like strength, dexterity, intelligence. Like I said, I probably would recommend use a translator, but after you put a bunch of points into these, you'll start going into these trees, which then correspond to 1, 2. You don't just put points way over here. You have to kind of go in kind of an order. And so you select one of these, and this one gives me like extra attack speed, and then one of these will give me some extra elemental damage or physical damage. I would really recommend looking these up, as I don't want you guys just to put in points randomly. But that's how this system works. You have your main stat, and then you have like your other trait points. So you have like your main stat points, and then you have your zodiac points that correspond to this. These are 2 separate things, and as you start progressing in the game, you will start getting these. Another thing I wanted to mention that's very important: make sure you're clicking on any of these things that have these little blue like or teal like numbers or exclamation marks on them. These are all things as rewards to claim, and they give you a bunch of rewards in game. Make sure you guys claim all of those. Some of the rewards that you'll get will also be in these little like boxes, and you'll have to open up these boxes, and these boxes can be pretty good. They can actually be links and stuff like that. Another thing I wanted to mention, some people are mentioning I put a green gem next to my thing, but it's not working. Why not? If I select a gem, it will tell me which ones I can link. Do you see how it's like green and highlighted over here? If I select, let's say, some of these ones, if I put this over here, I can place it, but it's not linked. You have to have it linked in order for it to actually register, and it works. Other things, though, you can link things. See how, like, let's say, you can share links. Let me see if I can position. I'd have to have a green in the top, like left, so I could use 2 things to have the same link, if that makes any sense. So you can have 2 support gems on 1 actual skill. That's another important thing that I kept on getting asked. Does it do any, like, is there some interaction between them? There are if you get like cast on hit, but that's something I simply just don't have, so I can't like show off that mechanic yet. But make sure you guys claim all of your rewards, as it's pretty important. Now, to access the tree and other things, this little menu will really help out. Another thing that I want to mention is kept on getting asked about the pet. So to get the pet and use it, you click on the pet. You will get this guy for free. Now, I only have a few hours left of this thing, but what this thing is right here is you will be able to get the pet ability. Now, you will get 1 day for free. The pet ability is huge. Make sure you guys equip your pet and actually use this ability, as it will pick up your stuff. And on top of that, while you're venturing out, you can click on this pet system over here. Well, while we're out there, you can click on it. I can give items to my pet to go ahead and vendor off, or I can have them be disenchanted. If I want to disenchant items, I put them over here. I put it in. I just right-clicked on it. These are the items that you will get as a guarantee, and then these are items as potential. I'm gonna actually be 100% sure on this, because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. So the top one is your determined reward, and the other one, it's called confirmation. So one of these is basically what you'll get guaranteed. The other one is like you'll maybe get this. So that's how the crafting system works, and that's how you get the material to modify your items. So that pretty much should cover most of the things that you guys want. Make sure you guys also check out your mailbox, and if you want to go to the main quest to find the next main quest, that's in the gold text. All you have to do is left click on it. It's going to auto path you, and if you want to go to the portal, I'm in Act 3, so it's going to be in Act 3, but that's how the different acts work. And that's a brief little tutorial and rundown on the like menus and other things that you may want to interact with, as it is kind of important. I'll probably make some more guides later down the line, so let me know if anything was too confusing, or if you want to know more stuff, let me know, because again, I kept on getting asked a bunch of these questions, and those are the ones that I wanted to go ahead and cover. And if you guys want to open up like the cash shop, too, there is a cosmetic, and a lot of people are asking, is the game pay to win? I'm going to go ahead and answer right now. There is definitely pay for some advantage of crafting materials and stuff, but like in terms of buying armor, is it going to give you more stats? No, these are just cosmetic. They look, some of them look pretty cool, but that's like a brief rundown of the tutorial and a bunch of the frequently asked questions that I had gotten asked while streaming the game. But if there's more, let me know in the comments. Okay, so now what we're doing is we are going to patch it via the English patch. So remember, I told you guys to know exactly where you installed your Undecember client with the games, because Floor is by Line Games. So the URL will be relatively similar, but it depends on where you installed it. So you want to locate this specific directory. So you want to go under wherever you put Undecember, RZ Games content and packs. So locate and navigate through that, and all you need to do for the next step is actually download. This is where I mentioned we're going to use Prixum's links. So I want to give him a huge shout out and credit here, because without this I would still be using the Korean version. So go to the YouTube link that I post and he will have a Google Drive. Normally I would post the link, but I want to give him credit too. He's updating the links, and so I don't want to give you guys an outdated link because I'm not the one that created this, and I'm just going to give him credit over there because I followed his guide on that. So what you need to do is download the files from his Google Drive link, and this is again totally optional, but I know a lot of you guys want the game in English, so here it is. You're going to download 2 different files. One's going to be like 330 megabytes and the other one is like 26 megabytes. Those are the 2 files that you will download from the Google Drive. And then you want to locate again under the Undecember like area where it's under the pack. You want to then drag those files over to the new ones. You can actually save these files in another folder if you want to, because you will have to reapply these. This is something that he has mentioned in his video as well, which I will link down below. But you just replace the files, then you open up your client. Don't do this, by the way, while the game is running. I don't know if that would actually mess things up, but you need to do this every single time that the game client updates. So if there's an update for the game, you then have to reapply the English files, because it does overwrite them every single time. I know it's kind of a hassle, but that's just the way it works. And hopefully this tutorial and guide was helpful for you guys. And if you guys have any more questions on Undecember as far as like a guide goes, let me know in the comment section below. But again, I'll provide all the links down below in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys. If this video helped you guys out, drop a like on it. If you're new here and you want to see more Undecember content, we plan to upload a lot more very soon. Hit subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll see more. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next vid. Peace.